Hello, children. Are you ready for some cutting up and kikiing? Are you ready for a gay old time? Well, I hope you are. Now it's time for Hey Queen Pride with your host, Jonny McGovern.
Hey Queen, come on and spill the tea. Hey Queen, it's just a good old-fashioned kiki. Hey Queen, we're cutting up with Jonny. Hey, 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 Queen.
Hello, my sparkly specimens of sass, and welcome to another gorgeously glittered episode of Hey Queen Pride with me, your host, Jonny McGovern. Today's show is going to be bippity-boppity-boo, sweetie. We have a queen with us today from season 10 of RuPaul's Drag Race, and she wants to be your star. I do declare today it's Blair St. Clair. Yeah. But before she flutters on out here, there's another star I need you to gaze at. She is the whole galaxy, including the Milky Way. Oh, and the Snickers, and the M&Ms, and the Skittles. I could go on. But just like candy, if you eat too much, you're gonna need that cavity filled. Please put your hands together for the tantalizing Miss Lady Red Couture. Ooh, hey, Queen.
Hey, Queen.
Oh, my goodness, don't you look divine?
Well, you know, it's right on the nose.
Yes.
You look great, too.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yes.
But we have to talk about this look.
Oh, yes.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, as you might know, since it's Hey Queen Pride, every week, Lady Red is going to be representing a queen from our gay culture that meant something to us. And today, it's very clear, but let them know, who are you representing today?
Oh, I'm representing Divine. Oh, one of the
I mean, that queen was a trailblazer, right?
She did everything, everything.
Now, if you don't know, Divine was an actor, singer, drag queen, and John Waters' muse who was famous for portraying outrageous female roles in cult hits like Pink Flamingos, Polyester, and Hairspray.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Now, after becoming a midnight movie star,
I'm so fucking beautiful, I can't even stand it myself.
Divine parlayed his fame into a huge music career with dance hits like You Think You're a Man. Selling out clubs around the world, Divine beat a path that many drag race girls follow today. Nowadays, the girls vie for the title of America's next drag superstar, but in his heyday, Divine was considered the world's drag superstar. Divine will always be a pioneer in drag culture, and we celebrate her, right?
Yes, we do, honey.
Let's hear it for Divine, everybody. Yeah. For more queer legends, download our new podcast, Schooling the Children, where we explore people, music, movies, and pop culture that we feel are important for the next generation of LGBTQ plus people to love and appreciate as much as we do. Available on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. Learn it and learn it well, right? Well, honey, we have a great show today. I do declare, Blair St. Clair is here.
Yay!
And she'll be with us right after this very gay break. Girl, you look good. We are back. Honey, our guest today is a Broadway baby and a music video vixen. She is slaying the game. I do declare it's the one and only Blair St. Clair. Hey, Queen.
How are you? Hey, Queen.
You are just as stunning as I would imagine in real life.
Thank you. Tell me more. My ego clearly needs it.
Golden goddess, perfect on
bronzed.
this set.
Yes, giving the LA weather exactly what you need.
Exactly.
You know?
Lady Red, can you believe we got the beautiful Blair St. Clair in the house?
Oh my goodness, it's Blair St. Clair. You're so pretty. I just want to brush your hair.
Oh.
Girl, to call Mattel about that one.
Exactly. Thanks for making the time for us.
Of course,
now,
of
you
course.
were in town recording a little something for the kids.
Yes, I'm doing a little bit for the children, recording some more music, getting some more stuff, ready to release soon. It's a little bit on top secret level right now,
Okay.
but we're getting there. We're getting there.
So
Close to
you
announcement.
had such a big year, not just Drag Race, but music-wise.
Yeah.
You had a #1 album, #1 in the
Yeah.
dance charts. I mean, #1, right? Wow. Look at her. Yes, honey.
Thank you.
That must have felt incredible.
It really was, and it's not what I expected at all. And I think like recording any music, you don't know what you're going to expect to begin with. But I was just recording that to really release a lot of my voice, like what I was thinking, what I was feeling, a lot of what was going on in my life, and putting all of that into music and to release. And getting as much of an amazing feedback as it was really special. Yeah, it was really
And
great.
then also pulling out those videos. You were giving big budget fantasy, sweetie.
And my bank account felt it too.
I bet.
I'll tell you that much. It was, so, I do have a musical theater background. I come from the theater,
Yeah.
if you will.
So you're a drama queen.
Oh, drama queen. I was born drama queen out of the womb. And that is exactly what inspired the drama, really inspired all the videos, and that's where I'm able to have my theatricality. That's where I'm able to have a little bit of an insight of the theater world and the storyline that Blair St. Clair is.
It's funny when you say you felt it in your bank account. I think the fans forget that even though the Drag Race girls are these big stars to a certain audience, you don't have that Warner Brothers money, honey. You are responsible for everything that goes up on screen.
I think a lot of fans, they anticipate so much and they want so much and they want more and more and more and more. And you try to give them more and you never know if you're gonna come out with more. And because if you want more, you gotta have more money.
Yeah.
And that's the tricky part. I didn't win the $100,000
Yeah, right.
on RuPaul's Drag Race.
You got to hit those gigs.
Yes. You gotta travel everywhere to make every dollar count.
Now, how have you enjoyed this full year of touring and meeting fans and sharing your music with everybody?
Well, I'll be honest with you at first. The touring was a little overwhelming. It was a lot to begin with, and I was traveling night after night after night, and I was getting used to a schedule. We see this on TV. We see how the queens first come on, and they start traveling a lot, and I wasn't used to it.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was to expect. I didn't know what to do, and I definitely felt the schedule catching up with me. I definitely felt that there were times where I just needed a break. And I took those breaks. So this past year, I really learned that I need time to recharge. So every once in a while, I tried to take 1 week in a month, whether it's a Friday, Saturday, whether it's a Friday, whether it's just, one day that I make my weekend, and I just say, this is my day.
Yeah.
Nothing's happening. I'm not traveling. I'm gonna spend it home alone. I'm gonna watch TV. I'm gonna eat food. I'm gonna, cuddle with my little puppy, and that's gonna be the day.
And what about your boyfriend? You go and get to spend a lot of time with him?
We live together.
Oh, you live together.
We spend quite enough time together.
So when you're out of town, it's almost like a vacation.
Sometimes, yes. He did travel with me to a couple destinations, every once in a while, and we learned that, to keep a relationship really strong, you don't want to work for someone, and you don't want to just tag along to someone's work. I'm sure you don't go to work, most people out there aren't going to work with their significant other. So we learned really quickly that it's good to have that time. It's good to have that space.
Yeah.
It's healthy. It's healthy.
Yeah, because you don't need your boyfriend also working for you and having to deal with everyone reacting to Blair.
Exactly.
You have to save your real life relationship for some private time, right?
That's the different thing about gaining all of this exposure all at once, is finding places to put private life and your business life, and even the life that people see more on media. That's different from the business. It's finding how to fine tune all those different things.
You made a great cameo this year in Trinity the Tuck Taylor's I Call Shade music video. You were Blair St. Clair.
I was Blair St. Clair, and I was the bitch of the school. I was channeling every mean girl in high school, every girl out there that was mean to me in high school, that I so desperately also wanted to be.
Yeah.
And I finally got to be.
Now, were you playing to type as a feminine top?
She likes to dabble.
Yes. I think Lady Red can relate to that, right? Well, Blair, it's time for us to take a little trip.
Okay.
Hold my hand, because we're going back in the time machine. Wow! Oh my goodness, look at us. We're here in
gosh.
Indianapolis, Indiana.
Surprised I recovered from that
I
one.
know, and you still look so stunning. What were you like as a kid?
Wow, what wasn't I like as a kid? That's the question. I was
Yeah.
all over the place. I wanted to do everything. I actually wanted to do some sports. So I did a little bit of sports, and I realized quickly that I hated it. It wasn't for me. And I was the kid in drama. I was the kid who I just wanted to be liked. You know, I
Yeah.
wanted to do a little everything.
Were you always putting on shows at home for your parents
Oh, yeah.
and giving them all hair flipping with the towel on your head?
My first wig was a T-shirt that I think everyone does this at some point in time when they're growing up, especially if they realize they're a Qween wannabe. And I put my T-shirt around my head, and you know, I did all these different styles. Like one day it was like a turban and an up style, and one day it was like a down style, one day it was like a braid, and I was always like gallivanting across my living room for my parents.
So after years of being dramatic, when you came out, was it a surprise to your parents? Was it a surprise to you? What was that journey like for you?
That journey was a very interesting journey because I didn't really come out of the closet. I feel like I was more asked out of the closet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my parents, one day I was sitting at the dinner table with my dad, and he was like, how's school? How are your grades? You know, how are your friends? Do you like boys? You know, and I just kind of just popped it out there, and I was like, oh, okay. I was like, this got really real. And, you know, I wasn't sure what that answer was. I was still going through puberty. You know, and it's shocking to know that I actually have gone through puberty. You know, I still look like
Exclusive
I
news.
feel like I still look like I haven't even started that journey yet. But that was interesting. My dad just kind of asked me, you know, do you like boys? And that was the first time I really questioned, is that something I have to answer? Like, is that something that's not normal? You know, like, what is that? And I was like, yeah, I do. But I didn't know that that was a choice I had to make. Like, not a choice, but, you know, a decision.
Right.
That I had to make. Do you like boys, or are you gay? Or
Were they to answer for it, decide what you were? Because how old were you at that point?
I was like 14 or 15.
14 or 15. So
Yeah.
you're still everybody's still just figuring everything out, even your own body, and they're asking you to make a choice.
Yeah, and I don't think your body really knows.
No.
You know what choice until your body really knows. And at that point, it was still questioning. It was deciding.
Well, at least you know. Was that a supportive feeling, or was it like an interrogation?
I think that at that time, I think it was supportive, but I think I took it as an interrogation.
Okay.
I think that I thought it was a little invasive of my privacy, and I was a little nervous. I didn't know how to answer.
Right.
And I did tell my dad at that point, I was like, yeah, I like boys, but I didn't say that I didn't like girls. You know, I just kind of vaguely said, yeah, I do. And that's kind of where that journey started with my parents of the coming out process.
And then how did you process that yourself? Like, so your dad just asked you basically if you were gay.
Yeah.
And then as you continue that journey, where did you go from there? You're like, oh, I am gay, or?
You know, I honestly don't really remember because I think in that time I was just so confused in general. Like, you know, life is confusing. Life is a journey, and there's so many different elements of it that you're trying to figure out, especially in your adolescence. And I think at that point in time, I think I was just honestly confused and curious. And I think that kind of led to me just asking a lot of questions, researching a lot, you know, like pulling up those Safari tabs, like questioning, what is this? How does this happen? You know, and I'll be a little vague there. But be a lot of vague there.
Right, okay.
But I quickly discovered, you know, after some time that, you know, my sexual identity wasn't my personal identity, but it was just a part of me, you know?
But when you first got cast in La Cage aux Folles was when you realized that maybe putting on a dress and a wig had some power for you, right?
Yeah, that's how I got my start in doing drag. And RuPaul's Drag Race was on TV. I had watched a few seasons, but very loosely. I wasn't an avid fan. I wasn't a big watcher of the show. And when I started doing drag, I was still doing theater in Indiana as more of a hobby. I wasn't getting cast in a lot of things. I was in this, and I still am in this weird place right now where I can't play older, I can play younger, but there's not a lot of parts to be younger.
Right.
And I didn't want to be Peter Pan again. So I was kind of left at the drawing board of things to do. And at that point in time, there was a musical they were doing, La Cage aux Folles. And I auditioned, not even knowing what the show was about. I just knew that it was something to do, something to keep me preoccupied, and it was theater, and I had to do it. So I auditioned for the show, and I get a call back, and they asked me to come in drag. And And I was like, okay, well, I know what drag is. Like, I've watched it on TV, and I at that point in time, I wasn't going out to clubs and seeing drag live. So I wasn't really exposed to drag culture. And I was like, okay, well, let's give this whole drag thing a try. And so I did the show. And that was an amazing experience. They educated me, the older queens in the show, because a lot of them were queens from the community that were auditioning to want to be in the show. And they taught me so much about drag culture, which I think that was really important to my drag upbringing of just, hey, we're going to teach you a lot about LGBTQ culture in general, you know, give you a lot of like the root of drag and how to really emphasize what drag is and build up your own career if you want to do that. And at this point in time, I was like, I'm not going to do drag. I don't know what this is. Like, I'm going to be a big Broadway star. And then I don't know how, but it just spun from there.
I'm sure that those queens took one and said, oh, girl, we are going to paint this face.
They said this one is a woman. She was born a woman and she doesn't know any better.
That's a great thing. That's a great basis to start drag, is with the knowledge of some older queens filling you in.
And you imagine like your first time on a stage performing, and usually for a crowd of people, that can be really intimidating. But mine happened to be rehearsed, you know, week after week in a full-length production, and then they put a wig and makeup on your face, and you're like, okay, go out and do it. And it wasn't as scary because I had done it many times in rehearsal process before an audience.
Then after that show, were you like, oh, there's something
I was like,
I've got here?
There's something magical about this. I knew that there was something special about it because I saw drag from the theater angle as my own show. I was like, I can be the producer, I can be the director, and I can be the star all at once. I was like, if that doesn't have type A OCD written all over it, I don't know what does, but it definitely has Blair written all over it.
Hey Queens, thanks for watching. For part 2 of this interview, click here. For more Hey Queen fabulousness, click here. And of course, don't forget to subscribe.